Hi everyone, and welcome to Anything Garage, Stevie GTR. Two-post car lift to get this TVR up so I can have a play underneath it. Been doing a little bit of planning and measuring. It's pretty critical really where I can put the two-post lift for various reasons that I'll show you in a minute. I've come up with what I think's a good conclusion, and I'll take you through to the garage and we'll have a look. Then we'll come back and have a look at this drawing that I did with the car sort of superimposed on it. Not the car, just a pencil mark. Typical fag packet drawing that I do. But I think everything will work out. So there's a bit to do before I can order this two-post lift. Without further ado, we'll show you. Let you have a look. Okay guys. So this is what I'm talking about. I've got a little drawing here which we'll show in a minute of what I drew out the other day. I basically set a little scale up on a ruler and measured the garage out where all these timbers were, and I come to the conclusion that my two-post lift, these shelves, I don't know if you can see them here, but these shelves are going and they're going to go over in that corner. But where I'm stood here is probably where one of the uprights are going to go, albeit further back, the 300mm off the back wall, off the side wall, sorry, and the other one finishes just at the other side of the car there. The car would be further this way if it were going on to the lift now. I've just got it over there so I can get round it. What I've worked out is the height under the car is something like 50 inches, and if I'm sat on my little Sealy stool, my head's going to be just about touching the chassis, which is not really ideal. I really need to be quite a few inches below that. So what I've come to is that if I remove this centre panel and I drop down the back so it's like a cabriolet again, then the only thing, and I wind both my windows down, the only thing that's stuck up is the windscreen. And I've worked it out that if I took it up at that, it'd hit this timber here. So I have to point at it where. So this timber here, we would hit with the windscreen. This is about where the car wants to be to lift. I've got about 1.5 metres behind to my garage door, and I've just over 0.5 metre in front, so I'll be able to get all the way around it. I mean, ideally you drive straight onto your ramp and up, don't you? Reversing on's not as good an idea, so the pillar thing will be here. Now I've worked out that, you see, this truss here, this timber here, that's a 4 metre long, just under, timber that goes right across, and it's on joist hangers onto timbers at the sides, which I did when I built it. And then I've got infills here, just really to hold the roof from above, with the roof bolts. On joist hangers are just pieces of timber. I've worked out that if I cut this timber here, take out that joist hanger and put this timber back between maybe 600 or 800mm, that'll drop me down to loads of room, and that can go right up to nearly the roof. You can't go right up to the roof because you know that you have to go past and then drop down to your safety latches on the operation of them. So basically I cut that back. Now because I've cut that back, that is going to be now hanging in mid-air. So I'm going to go to timber yard and I'm going to buy another 4 metre length. It cuts down to about 3/8 something. Put 2 joist hangers in, one over there and one at this side of me here, and put another timber in, another one like that in here. They don't cost that much. Not cheap, but it's the cheapest way I can think of doing this. And then cut this timber back and put the joist hanger back on, and I'll have to go on roof to maybe undo a few screws, and drop that piece of timber out. Obviously all this will be done with the car out of here. But then I'll have the situation where I can get the car 6 inches higher or thereabouts. I don't know how far you have to go past to drop down into your notches. I don't know. I'll test all that when I get it. But that's the plan that I'm going to aim for. So I can get with the roof off and the back drop down. That they don't exist anymore. Both windows wound down. They're frameless, so that ain't a problem. You've just got the windscreen to watch. And doing it that way, I'll be able to get it higher. I'll be able to sit under the car on my little stool, my wheeled stool, and move around and work on the car. And I should have probably at least 5 inches above my head. It's all a plan. Just hope it all works out. I'll knock camera off and I'll bring it over and I'll show you my little drawing. So here I've got a clear as mud drawing of the inside of my garage, not including my workshop where I'm sat now. That's on the end of that. So basically I've got the front here with the roller shutter door. I've got a nib at the beginning. Then I've got a 2.5 metre roller shutter door. I bought that second hand, but when I bought it specifically wide like that so that I could always get my van in if I wanted to work on my van. And then I've got a nib here of over 1 metre. Then here is my big compressor, and here I've got my motorbike parked up, which has got to sort of stay there. So it was imperative that this 2-post car lift lived this way as much as possible. So I've got a 300 gap behind it, which I should be able to squeeze through so I can get past it. I've got a 650 from the back of it there to the wall, and then some of my shelves I'm going to take down from over here I'm going to put there, and then they'll have to stop short so I can get my bike in, and I'll be able to get through that gap, all being well. The gap, the distance from the back of that post and the back of this post is 2 metres 860. So that's what you've got your car into and your 2 arms each side, etc, etc. So this is my car to scale roughly on the drawing, and roughly where it's going to sit when it comes in the garage. So that's my back window. This is my roof panel. This is my screen that tapers down, and my bonnet. So, as I said, I take my roof panel out, I drop this back down, and I wind both my windows down before I tuck it up. It'll clear that timber, it'll clear that timber, and it'll clear that timber. What it won't clear is my windscreen. So my thoughts were to cut it back, maybe back here somewhere, that timber, and take that piece out. Well, I've actually marked it, look, it'll be cut back to there. That's where it'll be cut back to. And then a fresh timber right across the garage to support this, put back in. So the only bit that'll be missing is that bit there, which shouldn't matter. If it does, I'll have to think of some other way, maybe put a timber across there and a timber across here to sort of broaden some more support onto the roof. I don't think it should be such a problem. So that's my plan, to fit a 2-post car lift into a smallish garage. The garage is, I think it was, I measured it, it's 3,810 wide, and I think it was something like 5,750 roughly. I might have some of these measurements wrong, but roughly 5.75 metres long. So it's not a bad size. It used to be 9 metres, but I nicked sort of 3 metres off to build my workshop a few years ago, which I don't regret doing. I do all sorts in here, as you probably know if you follow my channel. So that's it, and it seems like a plan, and I can't think of any other way we've talked about having the car the other way around, which would mean these I'd have to be further down. They would be in the way of the motorbike, getting my motorbike in and out. Where they're gonna go there, I'll be able to. At the moment my bike's pointing forwards in there, and I need to get my back box off and turn it round and back it in, because I can then do that. At the moment it's like that, but it really wants to be there. We talked about moving compressor. The only place to move that compressor to would be to put it outside in a house. I've got quite a driveway and I've room to do that, but you know, no matter what sort of a house and how well insulated it is, it'll still be damp and murky, and I don't want. It's only a Clark's, but it's a 3 horsepower and a big 150 litre tank on it. So the only other way would be to move it to this end and alter all my pipelines, because I've got air lines running, and move it to there. I've got power socket there. It'd stick out a little bit from these shelves, it's 500 wide, but it'd disappear under there. But of course so would some of my shelf room, and I'm very limited to what shelves I've got left. I mean, I've got the ones I put over the top of here, which I think I'm going to have to take some of them down, and they're full of cardboard boxes, as you've already seen. And the reason I put them up in the first place is we've got I built a pagoda outside, and in it we've got some nice garden furniture, and the cushions off them we're going to live in there, on there, but they never did. We've just got a big cover over it all out there, so it's ended up accumulated with cardboard boxes, which really need flat packing and throwing away now, I guess. So that's it: shelves, motorbike, 2-post car lift. Need to lose that piece of wood. Once I've moved my shelves over and I've taken down the remaining shelves that are in the way, I can order this, because I haven't ordered it yet. And that's another problem, is around the back where I live, the back of here is an access road and it's very tight. Now if bloke says to me it's going to come on back of a flatbed Merc Sprinter, might get it round. If he talks about coming on a big 7-ton lorry, not a chance. And if that's the case, then this is going to be out of the question, because to lug that from the front of the house all the way down the road, round access road and took back, a bit of a nightmare. Suppose I could do a post at a time in back of me Vivaro van with doors open, I guess. Suppose where there's a will, there's a way. I'd probably get somebody to come and help me, my son or something to come and help me. Right guys, so that was just a little short video on my plan, the way forward, to make it possible to fit a 2-post car lift. Just for reference, from the ground, when I built this, I built it as high as I dare to building regs, and from the base to the underside of these 6x2 timbers with 2.4 metres at this end, about 2,480 at that end, so 2.4, that's best I could get. And this lift, these posts I think are 2.250 I think high, so it'll go in. I've got electric power in there, everything should work out, but it's no good ordering one and then it coming and me having to start do all this work. So first job, get an extra timber put in. I'll probably go on Monday to timber yard, get a couple of joist hangers and a 4 metre timber. I'll have to stick out the back of my van while I get it home. It's only about 2 mile down the road to this wood yard, and then make a start. Okay. Right, so that was the plan. I'd see if you agree with me, and if you want to put any comments in, you can think of anything better, you know, sure to let me know. I even considered putting it outside on the drive, but it'll soon end up going rusty, won't it? And it's out to public as well. I'd rather have it in here. It's out of the way, isn't it? Nobody sees what you're up to. Okie doke. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if it's going to be any good to you. I'll do follow-ups to this once I start moving everything around and maybe get this thing ordered and get it here, and we can have a look together on assembling it. and whether it works. I'm sure it will. They're supposed to be quite a nice thing to use. Alright guys, thanks.